hold on to your seats because the MMA world just tilted on its axis and we're still trying to catch our breath. We've seen some massive announcements in our time, but what just dropped concerning Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev is genuinely industry-shaking. It's the news we've been waiting for, the one we were told might never happen, but it's finally official. The UFC has confirmed what's being billed as the Pereira vs. Ankalaev Trilogy series, and it's kicking off with a bang. Now we know what you're thinking. How is it a trilogy if they haven't even stepped into the cage together yet? Well, word from the inside is that Dana and the Brass have inked a historic multi-fight deal that guarantees these two will settle the score over 3 potential bouts. It's a move that basically axed the standard rankings protocol and shot a lightning bolt through the light heavyweight division. We've seen Pereira dominate everyone they've put in front of him, but Ankalaev has been the shadow lurking in the corner, the one guy we all thought Powhatan was avoiding. But Alex didn't just sign the contract, he fired back at every critic who said he was scared of a wrestler. He's taking the toughest test in the division not once, but potentially 3 times. It's a legacy move that's absolutely floored us. But while the light heavyweight division is heating up, the backstage area at the latest press event just turned into a literal war zone. We're talking about Ilia, Topuria, and Ryan Garcia. This wasn't just a couple of guys talking trash on Twitter. Things got physical. We've been hearing whispers for weeks that Ryan Garcia wanted a piece of the UFC's featherweight king, but most of us thought he was just chasing clout. Well, he certainly got what he asked for, and it didn't go the way he planned. According to sources on the ground, Garcia was reportedly hanging around the fighter hotel when he crossed paths with El Matador. Ilia didn't just ignore him, he went off. We're told the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife before security had to dive in. Topuria reportedly fired back at Garcia's constant trolling by getting right in his face, and let's just say, Ryan might have realized that the octagon is a much darker place than a boxing ring. We've seen Ilia get heated before, but this was different. He looked like he was ready to end the crossover conversation right then and there. Some are saying Garcia shot himself in the foot by trying to punk a guy who literally makes a living crushing world-class champions. We've seen boxers try to bridge the gap before, but Topuria isn't the one to play with. He's a different breed of savage. The footage that's starting to leak shows a chaotic scene with teams being pulled apart and Ilia shouting that Ryan wouldn't last 30 seconds in a real fight. It's messy, it's loud, and honestly, it's exactly the kind of drama that keeps us glued to our screens. We have to wonder if Dana's going to use this to set up some kind of freak show fight, or if he's going to axe the idea entirely to keep Ilia focused on the shark tank that is the 145-pound division. Either way, the heat is real. Between Powhatan's massive trilogy confirmation and Ilia nearly taking Garcia's head off backstage, we are living in the wildest era of combat sports history. It's fast, it's violent, and it's why we love this game. Stick with us because this is only the beginning of the fallout.
Buckle up, guys, because the MMA world just hit the nitrous button. We're starting with the news that's literally shaking the foundations of the light heavyweight division. It's finally happening. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. The trilogy fight is officially confirmed. Now, I know what you're thinking. We've been waiting for this clash of titans forever. The UFC is billing this as the ultimate 3-act saga, a massive multi-fight deal that's going to settle once and all who's the greatest 205er on the planet. We've seen the back and forth on socials, we've seen the heated stare-downs behind the scenes, and now Dana's finally put pen to paper. It's the terrifying striking power of the Stoneface versus the relentless wrestling dominance of the Dagestani machine. This isn't just another title defense, it's a legacy-defining war. We're hearing that the promotion is treating this like a massive series, ensuring these two stay locked in each other's orbits until a true king is crowned. Honestly, we can't wait to see if Alex can find that chin or if Ankalaev finally drags him into deep water. The hype is real, and the stakes couldn't be higher for Powhatan's legendary run. It's the matchup we've been begging for, and it's finally on the books. But the heat doesn't stop in the octagon. Ilia Topuria is currently the most dangerous man at 145, but he's found a new target outside the cage, and he just went off. Ryan Garcia has been doing what he does best, talking a big game on social media, and Ilia finally had enough. He didn't just ignore the noise, he absolutely fired back in a way only El Matador can. Topuria basically told Ryan to stay in his lane before he gets seriously hurt, calling him a clown who wouldn't last a single round in the cage. It's getting incredibly heated, guys. Ilia's not just defending his belt anymore, he's defending the entire honor of the sport. He didn't hold back at all, saying Ryan is just looking for a massive payday because his boxing career is hitting a wall. It's clear Ilia's got zero respect for these crossover callouts. And frankly, he's making Ryan look like he's just shouting at clouds to stay relevant. Every time Ryan tweets, Ilia just hits him harder with the truth. We haven't seen the champ this fired up in a long time, and it makes us wonder if there's a real boxing match in the future, or if Ilia's just going to keep shutting him down with words. He's taking no prisoners, and it's making for some of the best entertainment we've seen all week. And then we have the dark side of the holiday season. While most of us are looking forward to some downtime and family, 7 UFC fighters are currently looking for new jobs. The UFC Christmas Purge is officially here, and let me tell you, it's brutal. We're talking about 7 names just axed from the roster. No warning, no thanks for the memories, just straight up gone. One of the biggest shocks has to be the heavyweights who just didn't live up to the massive hype they walked in with. It's a stark reminder that this business is cold as ice. You've got guys who were touted as top-tier prospects just months ago, and now they're out in the cold. One fighter in particular really shot himself in the foot by missing weight by a country mile and then putting on a lackluster, boring performance. Dana doesn't play around during the holidays, and we're seeing the roster get trimmed down to the bone. It's a tough pill to swallow for the fans who followed these guys' journeys, but that's the reality of the big leagues. If you aren't finishing fights, if you aren't making weight, or if you're just taking up space, you're looking at the exit door. We're seeing a total of 7 fighters get the pink slip today, and the rumor mill is spinning that more could be coming before the ball drops on New Year's Eve. It's a massive wake-up call for everyone on the prelims. Nobody is safe when the UFC decides it's time to clean house. We're talking about veterans and newcomers alike getting the boot. It's a holiday nightmare for them, but for the promotion, it's just business as usual. We'll be keeping a close eye on the rankings to see who's next.
Buckle up, MMA fans, because the fight game just hit the absolute overdrive button, and we're struggling to keep up. We've been hearing rumors for months, but the bombshell just dropped, and it's official. Alex Pereira isn't just defending his belt, he's stepping into what's being billed as the final piece of the light heavyweight puzzle. That's right, the Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev showdown is finally confirmed. We've seen Pereira clear out the division with that terrifying left hook, but everyone's been saying the same thing. He hasn't faced a true elite wrestler yet. Well, he's not just facing one, he's walking into a fight that feels like the culmination of his entire UFC journey. Ankalaev has been begging for this shot, and for a while it looked like the UFC might have axed his title hopes after that weird draw with Blachowicz, but you can't ignore the numbers anymore. Dana White finally pulled the trigger, and we're hearing this is going to be the centerpiece of a massive triple threat saga for the division. The fans are already divided. Half of us think Pereira's leg kicks are going to chop Ankalaev down before he can even think about a double leg, while the other half thinks this is the night the Chama hype train finally hits a wrestling wall. It's the ultimate striker versus grappler chess match, and honestly, it's the only fight that makes sense if Pereira wants to prove he's the greatest to ever do it at 205. But while Pereira is preparing for war, the featherweight king Ilia Topuria is busy fighting a war of words, and man, he didn't hold back. We saw Ilia go off on Ryan Garcia after the boxer started chirping about making a move to MMA. Now, we know Ryan's been acting a bit wild lately, but Topuria thinks the kid has officially shot himself in the foot. Ilia fired back with some of the most disrespectful heat we've seen in a minute, basically telling Ryan that if he ever steps into a cage, he won't just lose, he'll be retired permanently. Topuria's been on a matador rampage since he knocked out Volk, and he clearly doesn't have time for influencer boxers trying to clout chase in his sport. He's calling Ryan a distraction and told him to stay in his lane before he gets seriously hurt. It's getting heated, and with Topuria's ego at an all-time high, we wouldn't be surprised if he keeps poking the bear until Ryan does something truly reckless. And finally, we've got to talk about the Mac. Conor McGregor is back in the headlines, but not for a press conference outburst. A leaked image of what looks like his final run contract has surfaced, and it's sending shockwaves through the community. We've been wondering if Conor was ever actually coming back after the Chandler fight fell through, but this contract suggests a 3-fight roadmap that ends with a massive retirement spectacle. It's got everything: the dates, the potential venues, and even a clause about his BKFC ownership stakes. It looks like the UFC is finally giving him the final tour he's been demanding. But here's the kicker: the names on that list aren't easy wins. If this leak is legit, Conor isn't looking for a tune-up. He's looking to go out on his shield against the biggest killers in the world. It's a huge gamble, and some people think he's just setting himself up for a fall. But we know Conor. He can't stay away from the spotlight.
Whether he wins or loses, this final run is going to be the biggest thing we've ever seen in combat sports. The clock is ticking, and the king might finally be ready to take his throne one last time.
Buckle up, guys, because the MMA world just tilted on its axis and we're still trying to catch our breath. We've been waiting for the UFC to finally pull the trigger on the most dangerous fight in the light heavyweight division, and it's finally happened. It's official. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev is confirmed, and they're billing this as the trilogy fight of the modern era because of how many times it's been delayed and debated. We're finally going to see if Poatan's Chama energy can survive the grappling nightmare that Ankalaev brings to the table. For months, it felt like Ankalaev had shot himself in the foot with his social media rants and lackluster performances. But Dana didn't just give in. He realized this is the only fight that matters for Pereira's legacy right now. We're talking about a collision that's been building for years in the fans' minds, and now that the papers are signed, the tension is through the roof. But that's not the only fire burning today. Ilia Topuria just went off on Ryan Garcia, and let's just say he didn't hold anything back. We've seen Ryan chasing clout in the MMA space for a while now, but Topuria isn't someone you want to play with. When Garcia mentioned he'd step into the cage, Ilia absolutely fired back, calling him a lost kid who doesn't understand the violence he's asking for. It's wild because we thought Garcia might be pivoting to a more serious combat sports role, but Topuria basically axed those dreams in a single presser. He didn't just dismiss him, he dismantled his entire persona. Ilia's got that championship confidence that borders on terrifying, and he made it clear that if Ryan ever actually stepped into his world, it wouldn't be a fight, it'd be a funeral. We're seeing a version of Topuria that's becoming the most avoided man in two different sports. And then we've got the legend himself, Daniel Cormier, dropping a bombshell that's got the internet in a literal frenzy. DC's hot take? He's convinced Jon Jones is flat out scared of the Pereira versus Ankalaev winner. Now, we know DC and Jones have a history that's deeper than anyone's, but Cormier wasn't just talking trash this time. He was analyzing the landscape. He said that while Jones is busy waiting for the Stipe fight that half the fans have already moved on from, the real monsters are evolving at 205 and heavyweight. DC thinks Jones sees the power Pereira has or the smothering wrestling of Ankalaev and realizes his time at the top is looking real shaky. According to DC, Jones been playing chess to avoid the most dangerous matchups, but this trilogy announcement forces his hand. Jones hasn't responded yet, but you know he's fuming behind the scenes. It's a crazy time to be a fan. We've got a champion in Pereira who's willing to fight anyone, anytime, while the GOAT is being accused of hiding by his biggest rival. If Poatan knocks out Ankalaev, there's no more running for Jon. The pressure from the fans, the media, and even guys like DC is going to be too much to ignore. We're witnessing the end of an era and the start of something completely different. It feels like the UFC is finally letting the chips fall where they may, and we're here for every second of the chaos. Don't go anywhere, because if these fights live up to even half the hype, we're looking at the biggest year in the history of the sport.
Buckle up because the MMA world just got flipped upside down, and we're still trying to process the magnitude of what just happened. We've been hearing rumors for weeks. We've seen the back and forth on social media, but nobody, and I mean nobody, expected this kind of bombshell. It's finally official. Alex Poatan Pereira isn't just facing his toughest test to date. He's locked in for a massive 3-fight saga. That's right, the Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev trilogy is officially confirmed, and the first chapter is set to blow the roof off the arena. We've seen Ankalaev get passed over time and time again. It felt like the UFC had basically axed his championship dreams after that weird draw with Jan Blachowicz and the subsequent drama. We all thought the promotion was moving in a different direction, maybe looking for a fresher face or a more entertaining style. But clearly, things have changed behind the scenes. We're hearing that Dana White and the brass didn't just want a one-off title defense. They wanted a definitive rivalry to anchor the light heavyweight division for the next 2 years. It's a move that's absolutely shocked the community. Because let's be real, Pereira doesn't usually do rematches unless he's already knocked you out. But for Ankalaev, the stakes are different. This is the wrestler versus the striker narrative taken to the absolute extreme, and we're getting it 3 times over. Ankalaev didn't hold back when the news broke either. He went off on social media, claiming he's going to expose Pereira's ground game and prove that the Poatan hype train stops with him. It's a bold claim, especially when you're staring down the barrel of that legendary left hook. But honestly, we love the confidence. We've been dying for a rivalry that actually feels personal, and this trilogy is exactly what the doctor ordered to keep the 205-pound belt relevant. If Pereira clears this hurdle, he's arguably the greatest to ever do it. But if Ankalaev pulls it off, the landscape of the UFC changes forever.
We're told the contracts are signed, the dates are being finalized, and the hype is already at a fever pitch. But look, the chaos doesn't stop with the big men. We've got to talk about the featherweight king, Ilia Topuria. Man, Ilia is not someone you want to trade insults with, but apparently Ryan Garcia didn't get the memo. After Garcia started talking trash about transitioning to the cage and taking out the UFC's best, Topuria absolutely fired back. He didn't just dismiss him. He went off on a tangent that left Garcia looking like he'd completely shot himself in the foot. Topuria basically told the world that Ryan's just looking for a way to stay relevant while his boxing career is in a state of total flux. We've seen boxers try to cross over before, and it usually ends in a first-round submission or a brutal leg kick clinic. Ilia didn't hold any punches, saying he'd break his face if Ryan ever actually stepped foot in the octagon. It's getting heated, guys. We know Topuria's got that championship ego, and he's not about to let a boxing star disrespect the sport we love. Ryan's been poking the bear for a while now, but this feels different. It's like he's trying to talk himself into a fight he can't possibly win. We think he's officially shot himself in the foot with this one, because now the entire MMA community is rooting for Ilia to get his hands on him. It's one thing to sell a fight. It's another to disrespect the grind of a world champion. What do you guys think? Is the Pereira Ankalaev trilogy the biggest announcement of the year, or is the UFC just playing with our emotions? And does Ryan Garcia actually have a chance against Topuria, or is he just chasing a headline? Let us know in the comments, because we're reading everything today.